Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2017 General Tarot Forecast. It's Raina here. Before I lay out the cards, I just wanted to give you the heads up on a few astrological transits that are going to be affecting you or may affect you come May. One of them being Mercury going direct on May 3rd. When Mercury goes direct and the subsequent weeks, it will start to gain degrees, gain steam, or speed, and go back up to where it was when it retrograded. So that's coming out of its shadow. And that will occur around the 21st, I think, of May. So after that point, you should start to see everything going back to normal. You're going to have a full moon on May 10th. This will be in your home and family sector. So endings, culminations, any kind of thing that you've been dealing with your family, things may come to a head at this time. You may find something out about your family. Maybe it's even a revelation about them. A secret comes out. It would be, I don't know if it'd be a secret, but it's just something, is made known in your awareness. Maybe it's to do with something about closing on a house, or, selling a house. And maybe you're going to move. That's always a possibility too. It could be the house that you have right now. And then at the end of the month, there's going to be a new moon in Gemini on May 25th. Gemini is an air sign. You are a fire sign. So this is a friendly angle called a sextile. And it's going to be in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. Definitely, make some wishes on this one because, you never know if some of the things that you want will come true. And the 11th house is supposed to be the luckiest house, so why not? I think that's a wonderful place to have a new moon. So let's see here. And I'm going to be doing a new spread, and this one, this goes over here, is something just to change things up a little bit, and it's really not going to be all that different ultimately because a lot of the themes will be the same. But I'll explain what some of the positions are to make it known. It's funny, I've been getting this Hangman card, and it's always in the reverse position. And of course, when you see it, it looks like it's in the upright position. So I don't know if I keep putting it upside down in the deck or what. Okay, so the heart of the matter, or the focus, is the Page of Pentacles. This can be a message. Sometimes it can relate to a child. But with the Pentacles, it could relate to something regarding work. So if you're out of work, maybe you will hear news about a job that you've been inquiring about or applying for, interviewing for. Again, with the Mercury retrograde, this could be delayed towards the end of the month. Maybe you were hoping it would be coming in earlier and it's been delayed, but maybe it comes in. Maybe it's something you've been waiting on. Sometimes this can be about students. So maybe some of you go back to school. Maybe there's something you want to learn. Maybe you'll have the money to go back to school, because sometimes this can also indicate getting a small lump sum. Maybe there's somebody younger than you who's an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn who's featured in your life. Maybe not a child, but just somebody who is your junior in some way. So in talking about the cards and how they're laid out, the top row is the past and how it connects to the current situation, which is the middle row. It can be people, places, or things, and depending upon when you're watching this, it could be something that hasn't occurred yet. And I should also state that perhaps the top row could even be something that comes in at the beginning of May. Maybe it's not something that's coming in April or before April. It could be something that does come in May. So all of this could be predictive. And of course, this is a general reading, and we should just kind of look at it symbolically and see if there's anything that connects with our lives, or I shouldn't say our lives, with your life. But I'm just thinking about how I view it when I watch readings on YouTube. I used to be much more literal about it, and if I didn't like what I heard, then it was like, this is going to happen and I don't like it. Well, now I realize that's silly. Not only is it probably, it might not happen at all, but it might not be what it seems like. There are different interpretations for each card, after all. So in terms of the past position, there could have been some of you, and this could actually go back to that lunar eclipse in February, because this is the last card of the major arcana, so it's talking about the closure, the ending of a cycle. And it can be something that with an eclipse, with a lunar eclipse, there can be endings that are not exactly on that date, but in subsequent months. So perhaps some of you maybe have been experiencing that your life seems like it's going in a different direction. And if that's the case, don't be afraid to say goodbye to certain things, because you did get the Death card, and that's like change is inevitable. And as I said, you're going to have a new moon you're going to have a solar eclipse on August 21st, I believe it is. So that's going to be a new moon on steroids in your sign. A very late degree of your sign, by the way, but in your sign. And I don't even know if I did say that, because I did start this reading over again a couple of times. So in case I didn't say it, you are going to have that. So that's the bookends of those eclipses. You had one in February, and then you're going to have one in August. And so this is like that, pointing out that transition. So whatever it is, whether it's in your work life, in your romantic life, in both areas. The World card can also talk about travel. And maybe that is something that you have done that has affected your life. We have the Page of Wands. This is some kind of wonderful news that you have received that's very exciting. A new beginning with somebody who is a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But a feeling of newness in the air. So that first card is a closing of one door, and this is the opening of another. And feeling a sense of passion in your life. And it's very energizing. It's very inspiring. It's possible that the person is a Virgo, because this card connects to Virgo. However, it's also possible that you are not necessarily being all that social at this time. Maybe you are looking within, because even if you have exchanged emails or internet connections with somebody, and the page can deal with any kind of messages. So it could be electronic, especially nowadays. We're not writing long missives, you know, letters very, very often. So it probably is. I mean, you could have phone calls, I guess. Maybe this is either somebody of the sign of Virgo, or showing that you are not really being that outgoing, and Leo tends to be. Maybe you're kind of keeping to yourself, but you have this communication going that is kind of sustaining you in some way. And that can be a very exciting thing for you, because it's maybe you've been alone a long time, and this is something that is kind of like a new thing for you, a new connection. Yeah, it's funny because I said Page of Pentacles, and then I got the Hermit card, because the Page of Pentacles, it could be an earth sign, and one of the earth signs is Virgo, if it isn't Capricorn or Taurus. When it comes to any kind of work situation, perhaps the World card speaks to somebody who, in some cases, maybe you're retired and you're keeping you're keeping to yourself, or you got laid off. I would say with the World card, it could even be you worked at a certain company for a really long time, and maybe they have gone out of business. So it wasn't anything personal, but it was the end of an era, the end of, you know, the chapter closing. But that has kind of left you to kind of be doing a lot of soul searching about your next direction. Well, the Page of Wands is that you're feeling this sense of renewal. And currently, we have the Four of the Emperor, which is the fourth card of the major arcana. And the Emperor refers to someone who is in a position of authority. This can be somebody who's in the military, or somebody who is in law enforcement, somebody who's in Aries. The Page of Wands, that could be a fire sign, as I say, including Aries. This, you know, in some cases, with the World card right above it, could be the ending of a marriage, a long-term marriage, possibly. Maybe you're alone, maybe you're separated, or and this is like the judge issuing the decree that you are now free from that long-term relationship. But this could also describe the person that you have found yourself with now. In some cases, though, this may be the past partner. This person could be very controlling and, you know, like domineering, and very rigid in their beliefs, you know, black and white. And it's funny because I think about Leo. Leo is a fixed sign, so you may have loyalties to your partner even if you are getting divorced. Maybe that's what keeps you in that position, because we do have here the Hangman in reverse. So it can be about, it's time to take action. So are you willing to take action? Maybe you're resisting taking action. Maybe you only go up to a certain point and you contact a lawyer, you file papers, but you don't go through with it yet because you're not sure. In terms of career matters, the Emperor could even maybe be a counselor that relates to something with career. Somebody who's an expert or consultant, who is kind of like very knowledgeable in their field, if you're looking to change directions, for instance. I think that, you know, with the 2 pages, that you're having communications. If you're looking for work, you're going to have those, especially the further away we get from the Mercury going direct, because that, especially towards the end of the month, you may have more and more easy communications, because what's coming in, job offer or starting a new job. Ace of Pentacles, the beginning of something related to career matters, money matters. Again, with earth signs, beginnings of relationships with earth signs. Virgo, particularly. The sign adjacent to you. But it could be Capricorn, could be Taurus, and possibly not their sun sign. Possibly just if they are very kind of dry, if they're very practical and grounded, it could be that person. But something solid. This can be very good for money in particular. The Death card. You did get some major arcana cards here. The Death card. Death is inevitable. Change is inevitable. So that's what I was saying, you know, full moon in 10th house. Is there some kind of, was that you? I gotta make sure that's you. No, your full moon is in the 4th house. I think I was thinking of Aquarius. No, with you, the situation was the World card. The World card speaks to transition, the last card of the major arcana. And so you may be feeling that sense of not wanting that change, being a fixed sign, and being fixated on that sense of predictability, that sense of like just being in a habit. But you know, being in a habit is being in a rut sometimes, and you have this new beginning. So it's an offer. It's you know, it's funny. You notice how they depict that portal. It's like, you know, walking through into new life. Sometimes it's hard to do that, even when it's this wonderful situation, because it's the unknown. And same with relationships. Maybe a person has this, they're offering something that is really something to value and consider, but it's the unknown. And having to make a decision and kind of put it out there can be unnerving. But the last card is the mic drop card, the Magician. Self-empowerment, baby. Sometimes it's all about you having to take that inspired action and knowing that the universe has your back, that you can't make the wrong decision. Yeah, you can make some really stupid decisions, but it won't be necessarily wrong. Sometimes people are paralyzed by making decisions because they think that their whole life hinges upon this one decision. And other people will say, no, that's not how life works. Life is not that drastic where it's like you do one thing and your whole life is just crashes down around you. Especially if you're doing something that actually makes sense. If you know, talking about the World card again, you will know if you have enough self-awareness, if your life is kind of going in a certain direction which suggests that there are endings. You will know that. But sometimes it can get very uncomfortable because we feel that we're not ready to change. And that's where the conflict comes in. You may know in your heart of hearts that it's time. It's time to end a marriage. It's time to move on to a different career. This one isn't doing it for you. But it still is like, oh, you know, I can't bring myself to do it. I'm afraid. What if? And the Magician is somebody who is doing it for themselves. Maybe some of you will start your own business because this is the number one. So this person is conjuring up their own thing. And this is their baby. And this symbol of infinity, if you put it on its side, it's the number 8. And it's interesting because the number 8 in the Major Arcana is the Strength card. And that is your card, Leo. I just thought of that. But the number 8 is the number of worldly success. So I feel like that's there for you if you want it. And so I hope you enjoyed this, Leo. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great May. Bye.